Remember when I said everybody is going to get what they deserve? Everybody is going to get what they deserve. And because everybody didn't vote the way they should have voted, they're going to get this horrible shit show that is happening. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I was trying to think of something nice to say, but this is a complete shit show. So we're all going to have to suffer for it because we did not defend democracy the way that we should have. We did not take care of our own country the way that we should have. And yes, I do believe the election was stolen by Musk and his Starlink computer mishaps. I think he did all of that. I do believe it. Call it a conspiracy. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. It is something not quite right with this whole dictatorship wannabe. I think that Trump is trying to put us in third world and war world 3 intentionally. I think some of it has to do with his narcissistic tendencies because wartime presidents are generally looked at favorably, and then he thinks he can kind of usher in this king thing that he's been trying to have. He is definitely Putin's bitch. I mean, there's no other way to say it, but he is Putin's bitch. I don't know if Putin has pictures on him. I think Melania is a Russian spy that's there to keep an eye on Trump. I think Vance must have one of Elon's chips in the back of his head because he started out being critical of Trump the way we all were. And now he's like licking his boots too. And Musk has autism. I mean, we all know it. Just say what it is. He's an autistic, crazy person who's sending out memos that are the most unprofessional elementary memos. What did you name 5 things you did last week? That is not an official memo to a company. People, wake up. What is happening? Listen, we're going to get invaded. If they don't implode the government, which they're doing that on that alone, we're going to get invaded. And so everybody just needs to be prepared for that. But I want to say this to other countries. It's not the American people. We've been taken advantage of too. We're being held hostage by this foolishness too. He's in the White House. They all in the White House. Get them, not us. We don't want this. This is not American. This is not democracy. This is not what any of us signed up for. I think that they don't have the numbers. It's a small percentage of them that's talking really loud. They're changing the media. They're getting rid of all the people of color. They're going to get rid of all the women next. Everybody's going to get what they deserve. These women that were supporting them, they're going to get what they deserve. These Latino people, I love you guys, but those that supported Trump, they're being deported because everybody gets what they deserve. You should have stood with the rest of us trying to stop this crazy ride. And if we all just band together, we might be able to stop this. But this thing is so big. It's so crazy. It's so biblical. This is the end of the world as we know it. If you know who Nostradamus is, Nostradamus warned us of these times. If you know who Nostradamus, look at his last quatrain. He called Trump out almost by name. The guy with the eagle on his head. Look at Trump's hair. What does it look like? Coming out of the new city of the new world. Come on, people. I read this like 20 years ago, and everything he said is coming true. Everything. And it's going to be the end of the days as we know it if we don't stop this guy. He is crazy, diabolically insane. And we all have to band together. The LGBTQ community, women's rights, women's lib. I don't know these women that support Trump. You're crazy because he doesn't even want you to be able to vote. You're willfully giving up your rights. And I don't think you remember what life was like before women's lib came about and how that was a form of slavery in and of itself. And don't get me wrong, some of it was a willful slavery, but some of it kind of wasn't. And you just kind of had to marry for protection. We don't need to go back to that. If you want to live like that, you can live like that, but we don't need to go back to that. And, you know, my Asian community, like, they put people in concentration camps. There are no winners in this situation. There are no winners. These deportations, we don't even know fully where they're truly deporting people to. They're splitting families up. Like, none of this is good. None of this is good. And, you know, Black people, we're always on the menu. Like, we're always on the menu. So if you think that being in his corner is going to save you and you're going to be that special Stevenson, no, you will not. You will not. It's just a matter of time before they get around to you. It is a really bad thing. But I look at it like this. There are a few bullies on the playground taking your ball, trying to interrupt the fun because they're jealous and they're weak and they want to have some sense of power. But if people stand together, if we stand together, every community, if we stand together, the Jewish community, love you guys, but this is like, I need y'all to stand up more than anybody, because this is right back to you know who in Germany. And so we can't have this. I expected your voice to be the loudest voice in this. I need your voice to be the loudest voice in this. And I need us all to stand together, because he is a liar. He is a deceiver. He is very corrupt. He is drunk with power. He's a very weak man who tries to seem strong. Who elected Elon Musk? I don't know, but he seems weak in comparison to Elon Musk, who seems like he's running the country. We have got to stop this diabolical, evil villain, because right now he is a villain in our American story. And everything Chris Christie said about him, he was going to come in day one with his little retaliation list. He was right. He was right. He was right. And we're wrong because we don't have a plan. But if you haven't noticed, this is a coup, a government takeover from the inside. It's a coup. And we've never had that before in America. So we're not used to it. But I've seen it in other countries, and that's what's happening. They're taking over the government because we didn't vote for any of this. And I'd like to remind you that there are other leaders that we voted for that aren't allowed to do their jobs. So that in and of itself is a problem. But this is my rant. You don't have to agree with me. If you do agree with me, fine. If you don't, fine. If you agree with some points, fine. If you don't agree with some points, fine. But we as Americans have got to do a better job of standing up and fighting for our rights. There are other countries who do this on an ongoing basis. We've been too passive, because being an American citizen means you need to be actively engaged and involved. So we're going to have to start running for offices. We're going to have to start calling people. We're going to have to get out there and do our version of fight, which I understand is a white supremacist statement. I get it. But we got to get better.